All right. So we are live. So welcome back to another scene for Rage Across the 90s, where I believe in the pack house, it's a nice, brisk 3, 4 in the morning. The unholy hours of the night. And let's face it, usually when much of the pack is asleep. Featherlight has been awake for several days running now, so it's a good chance that, sure enough, as the others kind of dispersed towards their rooms, she waited, let them all go, get ready for bed, and finally, kind of leaned on the couch, slowly drifted, and finally nodded out. Not so much by design, but simply because even Featherlight can only stay awake so long. So she's out for several hours. Only maybe 3 or 4. But again, it will be those unholy hours where no one is stirring when she finally wakes. So what has Artemi been doing?
So by the time Featherlight wakes up, she is wrapped like a burlap, like a burrito, in 2 layers of blankets. Because it gets cold in the desert climate during the evenings. It gets absolutely fucking freezing. Head's rested on a cushion pillow. Everything is nice and comfortable. What you will find is the big Black Fury, the 6'5" behemoth of a lady. She is slumped out on the other side of the couch, kind of still probably, do you know when you're kind of light resting, if you get me? You're not like fully asleep, it's that kind of eyes closed. And I wouldn't say she's been awake for hours, but you know what I mean? It's just, good, she's not awake yet, so I'm just going to catch a bit more sleep.
And so as Artemi's kind of doing the drift, that fuck me, it's late/early drift. It's very much an all-at-once thing, perhaps similar to the situation before where she slept for a very unusual amount of time. In this case, more closer to her norm. But it's still all at once that Featherlight just bolts upright.
Yeah, Artemi does the sit up, the poor chair does the creak as Artemi's head snaps up.
I'll give you an alertness check.
Sure.
It'll be high in the dark.
But will it be hot? I have wolf sight.
Oh, so you get an extra die.
Yeah, that's right. I can see you.
Maybe. You get an extra die to try.
I will get an extra die to try to see your butt face. I see you.
Way to make it weird.
What?
Oh, darn. Let me open this in another.
Shit on you, Featherlight.
There. Open this in my actual browser and loop it. So even in the dark, with a roll like that, it's she's damp. That kind of cold sweat.
Uh-huh.
But bolt upright.
Artemi will just get up out of the seat, walks over to the end of the kitchen, reaches down the end of the sink, takes out a bit of a bucket, turns the hot water on, reaches over for one of the cloths, waits a couple of minutes, comes back over. Once she switches off the tap, gets some soap and just dunks it in.
I'll give you that there was a sharp glance when you got up. Just the, oh, fuck.
You hear just tidily toss the soap into the plastic bag and makes the dunk, 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 dunk in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, by the time you come drifting back in, Featherlight is picking herself up off the couch and probably trying to it's funny, she's kind of with the smaller throw blanket has kind of poncho tied it and is drifting towards where her heavier clothes. I mean, she doesn't necessarily wear a nice jacket or a nice coat, but she has her own layers and whatnot hung up by the door.
Featherlight will hear the sit down.
I need to go.
No, we're going to sit and you're going to talk to me. Plonks herself down the little table across from the couch. And we're going to wipe that sweat off your face, so when you do go, you don't look in a panic state.
You can talk after. Reaches
Come
over
on.
to, start grabbing at the clothes. They're, her heavy layers.
Artemio will just walk over, puts the bucket down, and we'll just put the hand on Featherlight's shoulder. It's not an intimidation squeeze, but it's still a squeeze. Featherlight, let me do my tribal duty. Sit down.
This is important. I will need washing more after, anyways.
You'll need washing, but you'll also need clarity. Sit down, tell me about it. That way you can figure it out quicker.
I already know.
Do you? Or are you hoping that the dream that you dreamt will be the rush of what you think of at the time?
And bless her heart, Featherlight is stubborn when she's set on a certain course of actions. She's still kind of... She's not trying to shrug Artemia off, but at the same time, she's trying to kind of just carefully, let's not be rude, but I do want to get this fucking layer on.
And as a theurge, it's good to talk out the issue, and talk out what is in your mind. That way, you'll have every angle of it rather than just the one driving course.
I haven't seen all the angles yet.
Well, that's what you get from sitting down and talking about it rather than bull charging. That's my job.
She finally, reaches over to try to, grasp the hand.
Come on.
Just come with me.
Where are we going?
She gestures. Actually, weirdly enough, it's beyond the house, obviously, but it's not, towards town. It's not towards the neighbor. If anything, it might be about where that, abandoned place is.
All right, show me. Should let her lead.
Then Featherlight hastily pulls on her layers because she knows that it's fucking cold outside. Jesus, it's always so cold. Oh, she doesn't like it. So she quickly wraps herself up and, does pause. And you can tell maybe it's force of habit, or maybe she just wants to make sure the others aren't waking. She does pause at the door, kind of glancing up as she, eases it open. Very quietly, turning the knob before she opens it. Probably turning the knob again even when she closes it, but kind of pitches the eyes towards the stairs, listening.
They won't wake up. Come on, keep moving.
Yeah, after patting herself over, essentially the check her pockets pat, she nods and just goes ahead and forges out into the snow.
But Timmy just trudges along after.
And while Artemi won't... Featherlight is not trying to outrun her. Featherlight is just moving with a certain kind of urgency of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And she will head, in fact, a bit roundabout, just so that the tracks aren't a flat straight line in the snow. But she basically goes out to where it's naturally the drifts are a little lower, and will trot out and around this way and that way until she works her way to that locked house. And by now she's set up things to make it easier to get in and out. So she does. She, does a bit of this, bit of that, fiddles with something, gets the door to pop open. And of all the weird things, she starts, it's under her breath, but she's chanting.
Yeah, the Fury just watches. Sits there, kind of intrigued.
And she just, carelessly leaves the door open. You're behind her. But carelessly leaves the door open, drifts inside, chanting, and... Give me... I'll say an alertness check.
Sure.
Again, it's in the dark. Have your extra die. Ain't no electricity in this building.
1.
It's I'll say it's not enough to catch her beforehand, but it's enough to catch the idea. Basically you turn to click the door shut, and maybe you hear it. Maybe there's that little bit of tinge of the smell, but it catches your attention. She's pulled a knife.
Yeah, she'll start walking over. When she sees the glint, she'll just start walking over very cautiously.
Yeah, you kind of. I'm assuming it's the tentative kind of roundabout approach.
Mm-hmm.
She's already slashing open an arm. The chanting's getting a bit louder, though.
Or Timmy just internally, just for fuck. She just gives that little Doesn't say anything for now, but we'll wait.
And with some patience, what our Timmy will see her do is it gets kind of. You're not going to know what the words are. They're certainly not English. Hell, half of it isn't words. It's. I mean, she's an Ectena. It's. Please. There's a kind of desperation to it. There's an intensity to it. But she chants. She grows in volume. Thankfully, with the walls around you, it's not going to travel far, even in a big empty place like the desert. But she initially, does a good long cut down either arm. What might have gotten your attention is the fact that, the blood, straight with those first ones, kind of patters to the ground. And as she drifts in and finds a spot, no real indication of why this particular spot, but as those two first wounds are healing up down either forearm, she gradually comes over, kneels, and while kind of fever pitching these chants, these very intense, there's a lot of determination, there's a lot of, again, desperation, as she chants, and she cuts into herself repeatedly. Time and again, not just slashes, but glyphs and things, usually on the inside of her arms or the inside of her thighs. Not ever super bone deep, not ever enough to cut out pieces, but as they knit, she's already working on another glyph here, another symbol there.
Yep, Artemi just watches grimly
And Artemi, buddy, pal, friendo, you have the option to do something about it or to act, but she will be at this for a while.
Eventually, to the point where it's when Featherlight starts to get a bit dizzy, because eventually blood loss is going to kick in no matter how much you generate.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she catches the hand. And I mean, I'll put it like this, Featherlight. She puts her grip in it. That is no rune grip. Just boom! Enough. It's said with enough force as well behind it. It's almost like a near snarl. Whatever gods you're appeasing, they've had enough blood for one night. Enough. You're no good to them half dead.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a Black Fury, Featherlight. I may be in a rune, but we engage in all sorts of rituals that honor the wild as well as Gaia. We sacrifice blood, spittle, all sorts of organs. I've seen when my sisters go too far, and I've seen what they are capable of while half dead. There is a limit and a balance.
There's looking over to where, bits are starting to knit back together. But let's face it, Artemi's right. The longer she goes, the more kind of drifty she gets. There is a pace.
And you are going too fast.
Oh. A little head shake. Again, a little bit woozy, but a head shake. No.
You are.
It is needful.
Is it? Or is this desperation I sense?
It is needful.
Desperation, then. She keeps holding that hand because I'll put it like this. Do you know what I mean? You don't move that knife unless Artemi lets you move the knife. I'll put it like that. Now, for once, heed my advice. Rest. Then you can begin again.
I have already slept.
You haven't.
He cannot
You've
wake.
slept, not rested.
It cannot wake.
And what good are you, half dead? It's all very good saying it cannot wait, but if you cannot function for when it comes, then you're doing more damage.
Sorry, she's thinking that she's saying wait or wake.
It cannot wait. That's what it sounds like. Genuinely, that's what sounds like you're saying.
She takes a second, kind of like, you see the eyes kind of like drift up as she blinks, swallows. Not wait. It cannot wake.
Martimi looks at her like, oh, well, you just proved my point. And how? And you are so half gone from the blood loss, you can't even tell me the proper instruction. Rest. Wilfred, explain to me what is trying to wake and actually rest your body. I don't care if you're Metisborn. I will not have that as your excuse.
Oh, be fine. I will eat.
No, you will rest.
She feels not pulling necessarily, but the hand kind of like the fingers flex and wiggle a little bit, testing the tension.
Oh, the slightest indication that you give resistance, she doesn't apply pressure to hurt you. She doesn't apply pressure to do damage. It's apply pressure to convey is, I'm not moving this fucking hand until you sit down like a good little girl and rest, basically. She's not being aggressive towards Fedlight. It's just insistency. It's no. Like a mom. It's almost like, no, it's my turn to be mom now. You know?
Others have given more.
Others have given more, but they are not here.
Others because they gave more.
And they are not here to help because they gave too much.
They gave what it took.
They gave what it took, and now it is here again.
We'd best hope that is not true.
Well.
That it sleeps.
Well, Featherlight, if it is, then you will need all your strength and not half dazed, half blood lost, frantic, desperate pacing. You'll need to be concentrated. You'll need to be focused. This may be the Uktena land. This may be this. But an Arun knows that if you're going into battle with something, you need all your capabilities and senses, and you are doing battle with something. Listen to the Arun. Listen to your friend.
There's a long period of just kind of, it's that stare that's, I mean, Featherlight doesn't tend to let a lot of personal feelings and thoughts show through. She's trying to register everything. She's trying to do the math. Fine. Let go.
I put it like this. She takes the knife out of your hand with her other arm.
There's
Then,
an obvious bristle. It's one of the knives she keeps on hand.
oh yeah, what she do? She just put it down on the chair or whatever stool is around the place and just let go of the hand. I'm putting it where you can see it, but it's away from your hands.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some busted up chair
Yeah.
somewhere.
She's just basically like, it's right here. Don't be freaking out. I know better. You know what I mean? I have become wise to your ways.
And has Artemi really looked around at all?
Not really. She's been kind of focused on the Metas cutting herself open. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
You know, when you're a high rage rune and you see your packmate hurt yourself, you know what I mean? You're not gonna be, you know.
Yep. On the blade side, it's one of her weird ass knives. It's not silver, but it's something you've seen her use in rituals about 500,000 times.
Oh yeah. No.
Once she set it down, she unbristles, but that little bit of an extra slump because massive blood losses. It's catching up, but
I put it like this: you just get hefted.
there's kind of a squawk because the indignity.
Come on, we're going back to the house where I can clean you. And I can give you some food to get the blood levels in your system going again. You can protest all you like. I'm still walking.
The footsteps.
If they will ask, I will tell them to go back to bed.
I mean, for the most part, let's face it, she's a little low on everything at the moment. Tank's half empty. It's slowly trickling full again, but it's taken resources to do it.
Mm-hmm.
She won't necessarily protest when they get out in the snow. Like, Artemi may catch her at it if the snow's high enough even. She just kind of tries to sweep the sign of their passing, probably why she went in the particular route she did. It being a little lower here and swept back over the footsteps. I mean, it's the bottom of a drift. Who's going to notice?
Yes. Eventually, when she gets you inside, she sets you down, opens the fridge, comes out with some of the meat, sets it on the table, reaches into the basin, gets the cloth, squeezes it out, puts the food beside you and just begins to clean some of the dry blood off your face, off the sweat.
Yeah, she submits to it this time around. Shrugs off clothing as necessary, which, let's face it, it is. And yeah, just lets Artemi take care of her. She doesn't necessarily really languish in it or anything. She tries not to make too much of it, but she totally lets it happen.
Now, what are you dreaming about? That has you so rattled.
Something old. Something very old and very, very big that must remain asleep.
This is the thing below Yellowstone.
If it is waking, I don't know. Nobody knows where.
Perhaps you should talk to the Right Master.
You know what? Let me look because I'm pretty sure. Sorry, it always throws me off that the sep's at the bottom. All right, Master is a galleon or is a glasswalker. What would he know?
He's still a theurge.
He would not know these stories.
But he's still the Right Master.
You would think I am hysterical.
No, he would, especially if, say, you bring another one of the tribe.
She rubs her face with the free hand. Not enough of us.
Well, then approach him and talk to him. Sometimes compromises must happen. This is the reason why there are so many problems here in the first place. Not everybody is willing to compromise and work together with each other. Too hell-bent on their own stubborn pride.
This is not pride.
Is it not?
They will not know. The tales.
But you could tell them, you could work together.
Barely know the tales.
You could work together to figure it out, Featherlight. Instead of secret keeping.
There's a glance. A thoughtful one. Not it's just kind of considering. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'll let you peony the poop out of Featherlight.
I will. Give me that peony. Ooh. 3.
Because she has, I mean, Artemi is someone she doesn't keep her guard up nearly as hard with. So while she's straight facing it pretty hard, she turns and she studies you again. Artemi, you never seem Featherlight scared.
She stops a bit. She's cleaning it up.
It's low key, but it's in there.
Come here. Come on. Hefts Featherlight up and onto her knees. Like onto Artemi's knees, in the lap sit.
If these shakes are the throes of his waking,
then you need to find out instead of speculating, Featherlight. That way we are prepared. That way lives can be saved.
Do you know how many lives it took to make him sleep?
Well, imagine how many lives it will take if they don't know when he wakes.
She's still trying to straight face it. Have you heard the story?
I know when a big worm threat comes, people die. Gurus sacrifice themselves. I do not need to know the tale to know what is coming. But I know this, that if you do not tell them, if you do not work together, more than just Guru will die. For we will be unprepared.
It is a shame that we cannot trust them as much as I trust you.
It's not about trust at the minute. Right now it is about survival. You want your people to survive. Your people will have to make difficult choices. One of these will be, as much as our tribe detests the Glasswalkers, they are necessary. Learn that, Featherlight. And it might be a step for them to earn your respect.
All right, Master, it is not especially despicable, but a Glasswalker won't know the tales.
He won't know the tales, but he might be able to apply something with what you tell him. He might have access to more things that you have no prior knowledge about. Do not discount an Adrian Thairge merely because he's a different tribe. He is the right master for a reason. He has resources that you do not have access to.
I need to. Tiny rubs her hair. Just trying to process what she needs to. It's that kind of distracted, tucks the hair kind of backish. It falls almost immediately right back where it was. I need to talk to others.
Then start with him.
And bless your heart, Timmy, there's no little bit of, there's no small amount of suspicion. Not of you, obviously, but...
I'll walk with you if you need me to. That way, when you feel that suspicion rise, you can hold on to me.
I need to speak to the others. If they have had dreams. If they have had dreams, then perhaps...
You can see it. She just closes her eyes. There's a bit of irritation on her voice. It's hard not to hide that as Narun, you know?
I mean, let's face it. Fucking Featherlight's in the middle of an Armageddon situation in her head. And she is trying to determine what's a feasible way to determine the reality of the situation.
Talking to others seems more counterproductive when you're merely asking them. If they're as secret keeping as you are, then it'll be another dance.
Why would little brother lie?
Everybody lies.
Why would elder brother lie?
Everybody lies when panicked. The beta didn't tell you what she was doing, did she? And she's your tribe.
This is bigger.
Is it? It's still a lie. If they lie about small, they'll lie about big. So why not take the initiative instead of speculating?
He will not have seen.
But he can learn. Why is that so difficult? For you to teach someone something. To avail of his resources. So when you do go to your tribe, you have more than just a dream of speculation.
You think that the spirits who give me this...
I'm saying the spirits give many warnings. Perhaps maybe it is a warning that we need unity rather than more secret keeping and division and hiding. They give warnings just as much as omen.
The ones I see in my dream. They would not be seen by them.
just rubs her face. You know what I mean? Like,
It is not a matter of secrets, Artemi. It is
It
matter
is
of
a matter
blood.
of. It's a matter of secrets and blood and all this. It's just a convenient excuse.
The ancestors speak to those that come beyond them, not those that are adjacent.
You define your entire being. That's how you define the safety of this sept. Because the ancestors talk to you and you cannot avail of resources of other people. Now who's being selfish?
What am I to ask him for?
Aid. Guidance. While he may not know the tales, he may know the practical application based on your knowledge.
It's just the idle rub of the cheek, just realizing, oh, this is clear now. Oh.
Not everything has to be cut and dry in the sand. And you're not a Shadow Lord.
No.
Then
I am an Actina.
Stop acting like one.
I am a secret keeper.
A secret keeper knows when to use them and when not. And now you're acting like a Shadow Lord.
A secret keeper also knows when a secret is of value
And
when it's telling will yield nothing.
And right now, can you make that choice non-biased? Look at me dead in the face.
We may be newer, but whatever is reaching out to me is old.
And so we must guide our action based on one reach out that's it. The entire course of your action.
This is not one.
This
is every time I sleep.
It feels very convenient, Featherlight.
Convenient.
It does. Your application of it, I'm not doubting the message. It just feels like your interpretation is willingly biased.
Do you know about Middle Brother? Did you ever hear the stories?
She kind of tilts her head. And what are you so afraid of? That you'll end up like that? Because you tell a Glasswalker.
Middle brother may speak to elder brother, may speak to younger brother, but how would a Glasswalker ever touch something like that?
They lost their ancestors.
They're gone. And yet.
Then you might as well write off the entire nation, Featherlight, with that attitude.
Why are you so angry?
Because I'm tired of seeing people all the time hiding things from each other. Because they wouldn't understand. It just feels like one giant excuse. You have an alpha who wipes his own memory by the looks of things. Because we have so much of this, all this. And we can't even now unite against a budding threat that's coming. Because they wouldn't understand different tribal things rather than educate them. I'm sick of it. That's why I'm angry. Everyone's so quick to hide things from each other rather than actually unite.
Bringing something of this size without knowing that it is true.
And who
will not be able
to explain it and learn for the practical truth of things than a Glasswalker.
The Glasswalker cannot see the practical truth in something that the tribe is too young to have seen happen.
Then wash it all away then.
Is it so wrong that I want to speak to my people to find
I-
out whether my dreams are true?
I think it's wrong that you're willing just to hide it at a whim.
You think that I would condemn so many to keep a dream a secret?
You're already doing it now.
No. I am being practical. Is
Are
that what
you?
you want?
Are you?
I will ask the ones who would know the answers.
There's too few of you here, you just said.
Then I will have to travel.
Oh! Puts her
Or I
back
will
down.
summon spirits.
She doesn't toss her down. She just puts her down gently and just kind of stands up like, yeah,
Asking questions to people who do not have the answers is wasted breath.
And how are you going to get there, Featherlight, without any type of knowledge? You know who could get you there? I don't know. He has a position. Probably knows the right to go into the deep places. To ask such things. Might establish some trust.
You are so ready to see my actions as wicked.
Because everybody has just been displaying such things. Secret hiding. Lies. Everybody's so willing to put their blades at each other's throats all the time here. The only one I've seen has been straight to the point with me, aside from you and David, is the Fenrir. And that's... She just shakes her head.
The jaw clenches.
Just turns and gives a shrug. Aside from you and David, he's the only one who's laid out the facts of what he's doing. Straight to my face.
Has he? Or has he told you what you want to hear? What has he told you?
About his kinfolk and about the initiative he's doing. They're here to fight the worm. They're here to strengthen the kinfolk. Teach them, train them. So when we do fight, we have something of a support rather than just be hindered. If a raid comes, they can defend themselves. They can help other kinfolk that are weaker retreat. They might be able to find out things in the city places that the likes of me cannot go to.
This is why we have glasswalkers.
I
Bonars.
see. So the kin doesn't learn to defend themselves.
Of course, the kin deserve to learn to defend themselves, Artemi. But I know what they get to when they think they're the strongest ones in a place.
Then why would it get ask a Fury for her aid?
Public image.
Is that all you see me as?
No, but it might be all he sees you as.
He asked me he wanted a different tribal perspective. Rather than just one.
You're so ready to trust him.
I saw what he was doing, and he didn't lie to me. He showed me.
Have I
Even-
lied to you?
You didn't lie to me.
Then
Did I say you
why-
lied?
Why do you trust him more than me now?
Because he was willing to work with me. Willing to compromise. eager to compromise, eager to unite rather than just simply keep it all tribal. As if pieces on a chessboard. He wanted to kill the worm. What am I supposed to say to that as an Arun?
I do not trust it.
Of course you don't. Even let me... you know what? I was expecting that I would sign them in there. No, he told me to go to David, so the alpha is respected.
So Squint.
That I will
Sign.
be... Just shrugs, nods.
Sign what?
Contract by the looks of things.
Why would you sign a contract? In the nation.
It's part of a military organization. It's business. I earn a wage. Do you know how much money that has offered? That's insane. I could take care of Phoebe and Alexios.
He is offering you a great deal of money and eagerly compromising. Does this not seem too good to be true?
What, their kin there? They're eager to fight? To learn?
No.
To protect their own?
Do not cycle this back to the kin. They are not what I am talking about.
What you want me to say, Featherlight?
That something that seems too good to be true usually is.
Maybe I just... Well, and if I thought like that, the nation would have fucking fallen by the wayside like by now.
The difference between me and him is that I am telling you my secrets. Everyone has secrets.
Yes, when I asked you to compromise to help.
Is asking to speak to my own people first so that I can confirm these things. Not an acceptable compromise before bringing it to the other tribes.
And how many times has that worked for this step so far? You were there with the Shadow Lords. They immediately wanted to linchpin it. Make me take the fall. As an impudent pup.
No. You volunteered.
Oh, I volunteered.
David was meant to have that fight. And take a scuff to prove a point. You volunteered to do it. You were there for the entire conversation, Artemi. It wasn't a trap or a trick.
Hmm.
They did not hide anything from you.
Yes, they did.
They said it all there. I was listening.
I see.
And you were there with me.
It wasn't David's struggle to fight.
I understand.
No, you don't. It wasn't his. And I wasn't going to be used as some political pawn. It wasn't his struggle to fight.
You have all fought for this man.
And if I hadn't have said anything, David would have let it slide.
Let what slide?
What happened?
He was going to make the same challenge that you did.
Would he if I had not said anything to him about it? Had I not pushed the point?
If you had not, I would have been in his other ear. It would not have gone undone.
Yeah, I'll put it like this. Artemi looks skeptical. Because, like, I'll put it like this for poor Featherlight. Jacqueline and David really kind of, you know what I mean? You can see it. Whatever they did, that she is. Do you know what I mean?
Do not hold against David secrets that were spoken in front of you. You are included. You were there.
We'll see.
There is no we will see. It has happened. You have seen and heard. You are angry because it did not go the way that you had hoped. And that is fine. You do have every right to be angry. But do not blame David for sins he has not committed.
It doesn't matter. I'll be treated like a child either way, so go talk to your tribe if you want. I was only offering an alternative.
And I have heard it.
Yes. You
And
have.
I will go to the right master once I know that what I have seen is not exclusive to me.
Very well.
I did not make Foster by coming in a panic to the right master with everything that I saw and heard. You have to know that what you are bringing is real.
She doesn't say anything. You just hear Timmy looks like she's about to snap, but she just bites it in. You know the one difference between what the Fenrir did, and the reason why I'm so willing to trust him and not that woman? I'll tell you what. The man came to me with respect. As an Arun to another Arun. He didn't call me weak or insinuate that I was weak. He came to me and showed me dignity. That is more than I can say than the majority of people here. Aside from you, in fact. He didn't treat me like I'm some sort of naive child.
For what it is worth. She really pokes at one of the last bits on the plate. I do not trust her either.
Yet was asked to play nice. She's going through a rough time and all that. And I sympathize with people. I'm a fury. I don't sympathize with being disrespected.
Nor should
Especially.
you.
So, maybe that's why I'm more inclined to someone who actually shows me goddamn respect.
Respect is good. I am not saying the doors. I am saying simply to use caution. He wants something. He wants more than he's asking for.
I'll
He
admit the
is-
idea of using a Philodox and a lawyer is unusual.
A glance.
I mean, the lawyer makes sense for the mortal world if you're signing a wage. He kind of gives a shrug. She kind of
Yeah.
does shrug at that. That's, if I was working for something, I'd have to do that anyway.
There's a brown it.
You'd have to work out a contract.
Would there always be a lawyer?
No, it'd be usually done with the employer. Or maybe if it was... she kind of gives that kind of...
Admittedly, the downside
Shouldn't,
here is
yeah.
that Featherlight has never held a fucking mortal job. But, she's seen TV. She doesn't remember lawyers being there when people get jobs. That's weird.
That's why I was going to talk to David about it anyway. I'm not going to just willingly sign. I don't want A, disrespect David, and B, I'd rather get his opinion as my alpha. I'm not making any move without his, at least, word in.
And trust that whatever other motivations David may ever have, he is still motivated first and foremost for himself and his pack.
We will see.
You say
If I'm-
this.
I say this because it is how I've been treated apart from everyone in this pack apart from you. Like a
David
child.
does not disrespect you.
Like a child.
And you have treated him like he is incapable of suffering because he is a man.
What?
The night that he spoke, he was drunk. He did not mean to tell his secrets.
You think I've not noticed?
You shoved them aside. You showed him none of the tending that you should give me.
He's a Shadow Lord.
Does this mean he does not deserve tending?
You can see it twitch.
She's watching.
Shadow Lords only reveal things when they want to use them against you.
Or when they are very, very drunk.
How do you know he was drunk?
I am a very good liar. I am very good at telling when others are lying. And the confusion and the hurt when you shoved aside what he had spoken to tend me instead, when I had shown no signs of pain, only a truth, a cruel truth. I saw it.
He's a Shadow Lord.
He is a guru. He is our pack mate. Even if he is a Shadow Lord, he's a Shadow Lord you have chosen. And who trusts you to lead with him at his right hand?
Does he?
You would not be Beta if he did not.
I heard the way. I have seen what Jacqueline is capable of.
Jacqueline is capable of lying very badly.
I'll put it like this, yeah, you can see it. Whatever the whole being lied to and all that, it's like she hard reset and mistrust on Shadow Lords. Not Featherlight, Shadow Lords. She's very wary.
And even if Jacqueline would have lied to you,
She did.
did David not set it right?
Because it was politically convenient for him.
Politically convenient inside his home and pack? No. That is not politics.
It's all politics with them.
No.
Yes, it is.
It is easy to say that so that you do not get hurt.
Yeah, well, I was a loyal Beta till they started lying to me.
She.
They.
She.
Do you not think I don't notice David drinking every fucking single day? But do I call public attention to it? Because I know it will embarrass him if I do? No. I make sure everything is good so he does not worry. I see him suffering. There's only so much I can do when he does not want to be helped.
The ones who are the hardest to help are probably the ones most in need before they hit a point where they cannot be.
And sometimes you have to let them make that decision too. If I smother him, I'll be no better than just putting a band-aid over a wound. He knows he knows I am here.
He knows you are here and that your sister hates his kind. Does he not?
Layla, don't use my sister against me.
I am not blaming your sister, and I am not using her as a weapon. I am just making sure that you see why he might hesitate.
I did not say Layla hates Shadow Lords.
There's like that tilted like, buddy, I'm going with you to meet her before we admit that you're with Shadow Lords.
I said she has a mistrust of them. And anytime I mention Layla, they seem to twist it as if she's some sort of awful person. I've heard both of them do it.
They're defensive.
Yes, well, that she kind of stops herself like, no, I'm not raising my voice. No, no, no. Don't want to snap. That's not productive. You can see her. It's like, that's not productive.
She quiets and lets her have a second every time she needs one. Doesn't keep poking.
It's all very well that they. It's always them. I always have to consider them.
You must also take care of yourself, of course. And I did not say them. I said him.
It's them.
Jacqueline and David are not one and the same.
They're both my pack mates.
Yes. But one of them is the one that drinks himself half to death. One of them has let slip his secrets. The other wears fancy shoes. Has a bit of a, just a little quirk of a smile. And tells very, very bad lies.
So what am I supposed to do? Drag him out by the hair and tell him to stop drinking?
No. Would you do that to me?
Yes. Now I would, in the state I'm in.
Not tonight.
Gives that Laroon grumble of, yeah, because you annoyed me.
Maybe mad. Mad Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. The hand reaches out.
Besides, I'm already seeing what I do when I help people. They just wipe their fucking memory.
I do not think he did it.
What did he do then?
Oh, somebody did. But
Yeah,
I don't
well,
think it was him. And it
if
could
it-
not have been her.
I told Lena, his daughter. Her mind was gone too.
And the wife's?
I've not talked to her. I had planned to hold an intervention with her, but I never got the chance.
Who have they both seen? Who would they both have told?
She's with child. I cannot lose my temper at her. They went to see a marriage counselor, I'm sure, if I remember.
And isn't that someone that they would tell their painful secrets to?
Well then he will be the person I interrogate. I will bring my bowl. He will not lie to me.
That's a thoughtful, like, kind of like, you can see her, like, doing that little lower lip fiddle. A counselor, someone who was watching, someone in that place, someone who knows their secret, has taken it away from them. And they think that this has been successful and their pain is gone. But instead it is the memory of it. It was not someone who came to his home. I spoke to the spiders.
Then we will talk to this counselor and find out who it is.
May I go with you?
You may. To keep me from getting aggressive. And to do your theurge thing.
And where is Artemi? Like, I know she got up and was kind of pacey.
She's pacey.
Still actively pacing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then the hand will not get held out. Gotta let her pace it out first. Never try
She's
to
ang-
stop them while they're in motion.
She is angry. She's grumpy. She's annoyed, and then it's like, oh well, David's doing this, and she's like, I know, and I'm frustrated that I can't do anything. Fury right now is juggling so many plates. She's emotionally she's flustered, and she's annoyed, and she's frustrated, and she's stressed the fuck out, to be honest.
Is it my turn now?
For what?
You can sit on the couch.
Sure.
She slithers up out of her seat. At this point, let's face it, probably practically naked, but by the time they walk into the other room, why look, these blankets. How fucking fortuitous. So, she slithers up in all of her naked but now clean and no longer drenched in blood glory. And yeah, just kind of does that quick it's fucking cold patter back into the other room, immediately bundles. But sits, just off to one side of the couch. Not that full end. Enough to give Artemi room, but not to distance herself in any significant way.
Reggie just sits down and just, cracks her knuckles a bit.
And rather than do something like hold her hands, especially, because Artemi is, Artemi expresses a lot of her rage with fidgeting. So instead of doing something like trying to hold her hand or the like of that, she waits for her to settle, and once she's sat, she just kind of leans over, and it's the light tap of her resting her temple on the shoulder. Big shoulder. But it doesn't in any way keep her from moving. It's not enough weight to even weigh down the one side.
I'll put it like this. Eventually, when you get so angry, and again, it's not like she's taking rage. It's not like she's doing that. You just get so angry, you end up just fucking crying because you're that angry. You know what I mean?
I absolutely know how that feels because you get especially when you're frustrated.
Yeah.
You just have no other way to vent it out than just crying about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you see it.
And that's when the arm comes up around the back with the blanket and everything. Just to put her in the warm cocoon with her. It has been a great deal. And things are very different here, are they not?
I hate it here.
It will not always be like this.
I miss my sister. I miss everything.
Tell me about them.
About what?
I have never been outside the desert.
Bygone Visions is an island surrounded by the sea. A series of islands. And a large temple. When the sun hits at the right cast in the morning, the temple glows with light. It's a reflection and celebration of Helios. It's really beautiful.
That sounds beautiful. Reaches over and, with the back of a finger type thing, the little crook of a knuckle, just catch, smudges the most recent tear away.
And we do all training and all that, but you could lounge out by the water, see the fish, go diving, swimming. The Umber is wild. True haven of wild spirits and energy. chaotic, but yet still Gaian.
Is the water blue or green?
Blue. Deep blue. It's
There's
warm.
the tiniest upward tilt at the corner of the mouth because it's one of those things that's like, I thought this only existed on TV. Like,
It's warm as well. I hate. I know the Furies aren't perfect. There's many frustrations I have. But we are united. Look over. However much Layla is vicious. And she is. She's in a room for the light. When I am hurting or falling down, she's always there. And all my other sisters, that's what we call each other sisters. They are there. If one of us loses a family member or a pack mate, we embrace each other. We might not know them, but it's to share the grief and carry the burden and carry the responsibility. Nobody wants to invite that here.
it is a very different place. We do not always mix well. He just reaches over and plucks some of the hair back behind her ear.
Called a wormcomer when we brokered peace. We wanted to defend the wild places, to preserve them. She wipes her nose.
The deeds may have been very good. The time was very hard. And Hades easy.
Just tired of it. I expected the Fenrir has schemes. Everybody has plans and things, and I have plans. I just didn't expect my own packmate to lie to me. And yes, I fought her and we settled it like a runes and just throws up her hands, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
But it still hurts.
I don't feel like I ever belong in this place.
Do not worry. I do not belong anywhere. There's a teasing, just a tiny crack of a smile. She continues to, with the fingertips comb the hair back. It is a very fortunate thing that two people who do not belong are in the same place. And while, yes, he is a Shadow Lord, you have a good Alpha. You are a good Beta. The others need work. But they will learn, one way or another.
Yeah. I didn't mean to yell.
You are angry.
I was worried as well.
And why do you worry?
I understand Thayer's rituals aplenty, but you can't ask a rune to be calm when seeing the person who is in their head and in their mind to inflict pain on themselves. That's like asking a bull not to charge when someone baits them. It's never easy. Anyone who says it is, they're lying.
She finally gets off cause aw, buddy. You have a soul, and I don't know how to handle it, but she gets the squeeze. It's just because bless her little heart, she actually cares. She really cares.
Yeah, Artemi, that's it. Artemi gives a damn. She really does give a shit. All she's trying to do is that's Featherlight. That's the thing. She's just trying to help. Do you know what I mean? She is the cinnamon fucking bun of this party, Katie.
I know how far is too much. Don't worry. There's power in blood. There's life in it. And if you could see what I have seen, you two would give as much as you could if it meant keeping it in chains.
We do care about men, Featherlight.
I am not that foolish.
It is just there is a different approach for each of them. David has pride. When his pride is next broken, that is when I will step in. And you know what? This may sound cruel, but is not a cruel intention. He has said things before which have stung, and he has not missed the look on my face. Perhaps now it will be a lesson for him to think twice that as much as his schemes work and as much as he does best, the people behind you will always feel differently about certain things. And sometimes that will bring consequences.
Do you intend to reward his pain with consequences?
No, I intend to show that
It does not sound like you.
it's not what I'm trying to show. It's the idea that you cannot always pull a couple of strings and do things to cause this. And leave people hurt and then expect them to hold the same thing. There has to be give and take.
Do you think he does not give?
No, he does not give. Not yet.
It's because you cannot see it.
I said
Does
not
not
yet.
mean that he does not.
Not yet, he doesn't.
He does. I know that you do not have the chance to see it.
Not to me. Do you know the reason I was so angry at the beta, aside from what she did to those people, which was wrong? Do you know one of the fundamental reasons why I did what I did?
Why?
I wanted to stand up for him. Because that beta bullied him. I wanted to see that someone gave enough of a shit about him to fight for him.
That's a thoughtful nod.
I thought that was more of a fitting gesture than just a cheap word that he would not believe.
Have you told him?
You don't tell a man like that. He probably already figured it out. But you don't tell him. Then his pride will be ruined.
There's a wry smile. Men can be this surprisingly stupid.
I know. I would just like him to do it for me. Especially when she called me those names. I was weak. I'm not weak.
No.
Not. I'm sorry I made this about me.
I told you it was my turn. I made this about you.
But no, I did not talk to David because I did something that I thought he would value more.
He has
Loyalty.
seen your action. He has seen your action, but he, as much as he shares your mind, is not in it.
Well, I cannot go to him directly because then that would defeat the point. She looks over.
Would it? To let him know that you
Yes.
fought for him. To let him know that it was one of the things foremost in your mind, no matter what you said aloud.
I thought he could feel it. I wasn't exactly hiding it. Did you even realize?
There's actually a very small shake of the head. I felt the anger. I felt that it was righteous.
Dora pour out her Timmy. She's like, but I thought you'd understand. Do you know what I mean?
Aww. There's more reassurance. Maybe it is our own fault for having our hearts so closed that we cannot see when yours is open.
I don't hide anything. I wanted her to feel every inch of my wrath. And if the right master hadn't have dragged her away, I would have woken her up and dragged her by the hair to apologize to my alpha.
You cannot hurt his pride if no one hears it but him.
What'd you think? Why'd you think I left my taps the head open? I just thought he would. I didn't realize that.
I am sorry that I did not see.
Don't worry about it.
But you can do these things later. For now, she finally like gives a good tug. Like, you lean on me. The tug in.
Artemi does.
Oh,
She looks.
no.
She
You
just
are
looks a
mine.
bit. She just looks a bit down in the dumps, really. After that, but she does.
Yeah, it's just for now. Yoink! You are mine.
Yeah, she cuddle in. She again, just for Fredelites now. She just looks odd. It kind of that oddly took her aback a bit. She just looks a bit down in the dumps, really. But she'll, she'll cuddle in.
No, listen more keenly. I'm not.
It's all right.
Yeah, just, cuddle her in and continue just kind of stroking her hair. Just doing her best to soothe angry Rune.
Protect any dear butthead.
Yeet!